Hi, it's Malcolm, and today I'm joined by my colleague Wayne, one of our experienced mortgage advisors here, just to talk about first-time buyer, first-time landlord, buy-to-let mortgages. So we quite often get this type of inquiry. So this will be typically perhaps someone that's living with parents, or in rented accommodation, but looking to an investment property rather than a residential for the first purchase. So why are these cases more difficult to place?
Well, firstly, lenders typically want the landlords to have some experience, so they want to see that you've already been used to paying a mortgage, which obviously if you're living at home with mum and dad, you haven't. Secondly, they're a bit more wary. For example, sometimes people might be making fraudulent applications. They're saying it's a buy-to-let because they think it's easier for them to get a buy-to-let than it would be to get a residential mortgage in their own right, and obviously lenders just don't want that. They want the application to be genuine. And then obviously you've just got market conditions, so things like lender stress tests. It's harder for first-time buyers to get it for the type of property that they want to buy, because the rent needs to be that much higher than the actual rents that they're generating from the properties that typically they would be buying.
Right. Okay. And do we sometimes see that also this type of applicant can be looking for like HMOs or more, less like a standard tenancy? Often
they might have seen, that they'll get a better rate of return if they can do an HMO. But again, typically lenders will want somebody doing an HMO to be more experienced. They would usually go for lend to an experienced landlord rather than a first-time buyer.
And we also see, despite the fact we've got lenders that will do buy-to-let mortgages without an assessment of income, it's more on the rental income than the personal income. This is different, isn't it, on a first-time buyer, first-time landlord?
Yeah, partly to address the thing that we said before, to stop this idea of you could get a buy-to-let but you couldn't get a residential. So a lot of them will actually assess it as if you were doing it as a residential anyway, and wouldn't lend you any more than they would have lent you for a residential property.
Good, so I hope that gives you a bit of background as to why these cases are more difficult to place. Not impossible, but much more difficult certainly than they used to be.